That's odd. Let me see. Well, that is weird. I have everything... Ooh. Let's go back then. Oh, no. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me, please? Testing, 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me, please? Ah, there we go. You've got me there. Right. We'll start again then. Oh, you've missed out 5 minutes of absolute waffle, everybody. You've missed me telling you all about the team championships, about the Constructors' Championship as well, the Drivers' Championship. We're back on it, though. So, the Team Championship is as follows. McLaren lead with 37 points. They're 7 points ahead of Ferrari, who have 30. Team Lotus have 28, with 2-point gap between them. Benetton are 4 points behind, with 24 points. 2 points behind them is Jordan, on 22. They have a 6-point cushion to the team in 6th place. Red Bull with 16. They're 1 point ahead of Renault with 15. And Alfa Romeo are in 8th with 10 points. But they only had one driver for round number 1. And unfortunately, they've only got one driver for round number 2. Kaiser Grimm, unfortunately, unable to commit to the season. Hopefully, we see you again soon, Kaiser Grimm. And a great member of the community as well. His place, though, in round number 3 will be taken by Ragemus Prime, creating a super team at Alfa Romeo. I'll do the Drivers' Championship as we go through the grid, just to save us time. So, on pole position here at Interlagos for round number 2 is Bunny's, amazingly, only his 4th ever pole position in Formula X. He leads the championship, having won round number 1, and he qualified on soft tyres, and he has softs and hards for the race. He starts on the soft tyre. In 2nd place is Yafax in the Alfa Romeo. He's qualified on soft tyres. He has soft, and mediums for the race, and he starts on the softs. In 3rd place, the Renault of Ajax, the defending champion. He qualified on soft tyres. He's got soft, medium, and hards for the race, and he starts on softs today. In 4th place is Aloy, the man that told me there was no sound. Unfortunately, he told me that, otherwise we might have gone through the whole race with no sound at all, which would have been awkward. He starts on in fourth after his first qualifying session of the season. No disconnect problem for him today. He's qualified on soft tyres. He has soft, and mediums for the race, and he starts on the soft tyre. He is joined at the front of this grid by Bailey. Another strong session for Bailey. A David Coulthard-looking helmet for him. R2-D2 for Aloy, I was told last week. Bailey's in 5th. He qualified it on soft tyres. Soft, and mediums for him. Bailey is in 6th place in the championship with 14 points. Ajax in 7th with 12. Yafax in 8th with 10. And Aloy in 15th with 2 after his disconnect last week. The driver 2nd in the championship is 6th on the grid with Gasman in the Ferrari. He qualified on medium tyres. Soft, and hard for him in the race. And he starts on hard tyres. So our first driver on the grid that has a different tyre set to everyone else. Bondimus Prime in the Team Lotus. He is in 11th place in the championship with 6 points. He qualified on the soft tyre and has soft, mediums for the race. Starts on the soft tyre for the first stint. In 8th place is Jam. SNL Jam in 8th in the Jordan. He is in 4th place in the championship with 18 points. Qualified on the soft tyre. Has soft, and hards for the race and starts on the soft tyre himself. In 9th place is the Punisher, making the top 10 again in qualifying in the Ferrari. Starts on qualified on softs. Has soft, medium, and hard for the race and starts on the medium tyre. In 10th place is Christo. He made his debut last time out at Lego Majaro. In the McLaren, the German finished in 10th place, has 7 points in the championship. He qualified on soft tyres and he starts on mediums today with soft and hards waiting for him in the pit lane. In 11th place was Rob on drums in the Benetton. He qualified on medium tyres. He is 9th in the championship with 8 points. He has softs and hards for the race, and he starts on the hard tyre. In 12th place is Mr. Smith in the Renault. He is in for 14th place in the championship with 3 points. He qualified on soft tyres, and he has soft, medium and hards for the race. In 13th, another yellow car, it's his slender fella in the Jordan. He qualified on hard tyres, has soft, medium and hards for the race, and starts on mediums. And finally on the grid, it is Morcherry in the Team Lotus. He starts in 14th place, as I say, a mistake in qualifying. He was on soft tyres, soft, medium and hards for him in the race, and he starts on hards. Unfortunately, there is no Ben on the grid because he has work. Boo work. He's 5th in the championship with 16 points in the Benetton. And as I say, no Kaiser Grimm for the season. Hope to see you soon, Kaiser Grimm. The Alfa Romeo driver being replaced by Ragimus Prime from round number 3. But this is round number 2 here at Interlagos, season number 10 of Formula X. A fantastic race in front of us, 42 laps of this tight, twisty circuit. So, without further ado, let's get everything underway. We have them all lined up. Buddy's on pole with Yafax in second and Ajax third. Aloy and Bailey in the Red Bulls just behind them. Gasman in 6th. Bondimus in 7th and Jam in 8th. We wait for 5 lights to appear on the gantry. They will blaze with glory, and it is go here at Interlagos. Bunnies gets a good start straight away on the overtake, and he holds the position going into turn 1 as the Senna S's. Yafax through, so is Ajax, and the Red Bulls. We have Lotus having a bit of a slide as Jam's gone round. Jam is off the circuit. What happened there for the Jordan going into turn 1 then. A good start up into 7th, in fact up to 6th. Gasman up the inside of him as we go through the... Oh, and there's a tap it looked like from Bondimus, and then, the car slides. What on earth caused the slide to happen into turn 1? So a bit of chaos already in the Senna S. So 3 wide into turn 1. Bondimus running a little bit wide, gets caught by the grass. Jam... And it looks like the car just... and a bit of a helpful tap from his teammate there. Slender fella, not a good start from the Jordan team, but an incredible start for Bunnies, leading the field. He's already pulled a gap, as Yafax has the attention of Ajax just behind him, on board with the Renault, because he's got the attention of Aloy. He's happy to go on the overtake, because Aloy is also under attack from Gasman. Gasman up into 4th place, as the camera angle is terrible through turn 6. The Ferrari driver on the hards, and he's already up to 4th. Aloy in 5th place, Bondimus in 6th, with Bailey 7th. Mr. Smith, 8th place, brilliant start for him. Morcherry, in fact, 9th. He started down in 14th place. Robin Drums in 10th, the Punisher 11th, Slenderfellow 12th, and Christo in his Senna helmet is 13th. Jam is a long way behind the rest of the field. But Bunny's pulling away. He's nearly used a quarter of his overtake on this opening lap, whilst Yafax hasn't used any in that Alfa Romeo. These top 3 drivers all on the soft tyres as they go through. Gasman, though, has the attention of Aloy going into the Senna S. Aloy up the inside and has already got past, although he has lost the position now to Gasman, but Gasman runs wide. Aloy manages to hold the position, and Bondimus having a bit of a wobble, possibly a Senna helmet as well for Bondimus. He's on the overtake because he feels the attention of Bailey behind him in the Star Wars Red Bull. Will he move into turn 4? No, he doesn't. Aloy last season in his Renault that season was incredible through turn 3. He'll be hoping to do the same in this race. He's currently in 4th place as we go back to the battle that's happening. Bailey was involved in a lot of battles at Lego Majaro. If you haven't watched it, go back, watch the first round. It was incredible. But we're on board with the Lotus. Going back through the field, Mr. Smith is under pressure from Morcherry, who goes up the inside. He's got the centre helmet on as well. So the Lotus team paying homage to one of their most famous drivers in history. As Rob on drums having a look up the inside of Mr. Smith. Mr. Smith has a centre helmet too. Christo, though, has the power and overtakes Rob on drums. This is what we see in this season of Formula X now. You cannot underestimate the battles that will happen in this race. Rob on drums back up the inside. I will explain why that is as the Punisher. Wow, the Punisher, let's go on board for that, because he was in 12th place. He looks like he got 10th into turn 1, on board with the Punisher. It's lovely yellow and red helmet with the Punisher sign on the... Does he go through the middle of them? Oh my word, into the centre S. Fantastic from the Punisher on the outside of Rob on drums, and then makes the move. Absolutely fantastic from the Canadian. He's in the background. Slenderfella decides, oh, I want to have a little battle here with these four. We're not going to the front because Rob on drums having a look into turn 4. Does he get up the inside of the Punisher? He does, and he brings Christo along with him. Wowzers. This is the battle, may I remind you, for 10th. They are fighting like it is for the lead. The Punisher on the inside of turn 6. Can he make the move into 7? Oh, he does. Nicely done, but then Christo has the inside line for the next corner and makes the move stick. So they've closed each other up. Jam on the back of them now. Shark Gaming in the chat saying, wow, exciting already. It is. Jam goes past his teammate Slenderfella as the Jordan's at the back. Going to the front of the field is Bunnies, who sets a 16.4 on his soft tyres, with Yafax also matching his time of 17.2 actually for Yafax, so he's a bit slower in these early stages. Ajax in third. Bailey in the chat saying, good morning legends, we have already got someone in the pits. Morcherry is in the pits. He's getting rid of those hard tyres straight away. The pit window opens at the end of lap number 3. Oh, it's Pool Shark is Shark Game. Hello, Pool Shark. So the pit window opens at the end of lap number 3. It closes on the end of lap number 39. Drivers have to make pit stops in this season. They have to use all 3 tyres that they have allocated themselves for the race, but there are no fuel stops. So it's all about how you manage these tyres, how you decide to use them, when you decide to use them. In particular, top 3 are on the soft. In fact, the top 5 are on the soft, because Bailey is up into 5th. He's got past Gasman. Gasman on the hard tyres, setting 19.1s, which is not too shabby on those hard. Mr. Smith in 7th place still, holding position. Although we're getting a bit of a Mr. Smith train appearing, because Bondamus is behind him, with Rob on drums, Christo and Jam behind. Christo looks like he's going to have a move on Rob on drums into turn number 1. We've seen this move happen, although he doesn't make the move, and Jam is looking for the move into turn 1. No, Christo goes round the outside. We might have to go on board with Christo. Here we go, on board with the McLaren driver, the German, looking at the American ahead of us in the Benetton, with Jam in the Jordan. You can see him in the mirrors, swarming around in that Hornet liveried Jordan. Christo on the outside, breaks later than Rob on drums. Rob on drums on the mediums, but Rob holding the line, and Christo managing to keep in 10th with the attention of Jam behind him too. But Christo on the overtake, trying to pull away from Jam and get towards Rob on drums, but not happening yet. Back to the front. Bunny's leading 16.5 compared to 17.4. The damage is being done already. Bunny's has got about a 4-second gap to himself and Yafax. Ajax about 1.5 seconds behind Yafax, with a Lowy a few seconds back in the Red Bull. Bailey in the Red Bull pushing hard. catching his teammate on this lap, in fact. So the Star Wars-inspired livery from the Monaco Grand Prix in 2005, powering these two Red Bulls up the field. Gasman is in 6th in his Ferrari, and then there's a huge gap. What is the gap between them? It's about 7 seconds to Bondimus. So these battles, Bondimus in 7th. He's got past Mr. Smith now. So Mr. Smith is in 8th. The drivers behind him have fallen back a bit, so Mr. Smith is holding position. The Punisher down in 11th all of a sudden. So the Punisher is 11th with Jam in 12th. So these are the closest battles on the circuit. As we see, Mr. Smith is just ahead of Rob on drums, with the Punisher holding 11th place, Jam and Slenderfella in 13th. 14th place is Morcherry after his pit stop on lap number 3. He's now on the soft tyres. So that's a tactic that he's going for in this race. Bunnies keeps going though on the soft tyres. So do the top 3. Bailey, as I said before, he's closing up on Aloe. Aloe did 19.1 on lap number 5 with 17.6 for Bailey. So he's catching his teammate up. He's just in that little sweet spot. He's just close enough to get the benefit of the slipstream of his teammate. Gasman sets his personal best time for 19.1 on the hards. He's been caught up by Bondimus now, as Mr. Smith is in 8th. The Punisher is in 9th. Jam now up into 10th, so he's got past Christo as Rob on drums comes into the pits. So Rob on drums in the pits in the Benetton at the end of lap number 6. He was on the hard tyres. In he comes. So the Benetton is in. Just the tyres get changed. Soft tyres then for Rob on drums. He goes out of the pit lane. It's such a long stop here as well. The exit seems to go on forever as Bunnies leads the field. Let's have a look. Mr. Smith has got a gap. The Punisher and Jam are having a nice fight for 10th. Let's go on board with the Jordan. It's got a little look on the Ferrari, not quite close enough. And to use the overtake though to keep the position up. So these drivers fighting each other. They've lost contact with the back of Mr. Smith and Bondimus. And there's a big gap between Mr. Smith and Bondimus as Jam goes up into 9th place, into the Senna S. He gets the move done and away he'll be hoping to go, but the Punisher will get the slipstream down the back straight and into turn 4. You can overtake if you're brave, as the Punisher has a look into turn 4 and he gets the move done on Jam. A nice move by the Punisher, but Jam's back up the inside and Jam moves back into 9th place. A great battle between these two drivers. Let's have a look at Gasman. 18.9 for him and an 18.9 for Bondimus, who's bringing Mr. Smith along with him. 18.5 for Mr. Smith, so his times are looking quite nice at this early stage of the race. As up ahead we've got Aloe and Bailey nose to tail. Aloe is just losing time to his teammate as it stands. Will he let Bailey through? He does. Bailey goes up into 4th place then. Team flying into the Senna S by the two Red Bulls. Up into 4th place goes Bailey. So Bailey, nicely done. Although he's then got Aloe chasing him down the back straight. Is Aloe going to have a move into turn 4? He does! So these Red Bulls fighting hard with each other. No team orders, it seems. They're fighting fairly and cleanly, because obviously the worst thing to do is take your teammate out. As Aloe is in 4th. Bailey does have a little touch. In fact, he is in a David Coulthard helmet as well. That's a lovely touch from Bailey. It's got a bit of shine to it as well. I have to confirm, Bailey, are you Scottish as well? Because then you can join our other flying Scotsman, Gasman, in 6th place. Trying to chase them down, but those hard tyres are holding him back a bit. He's about 2nd a lap slower than those he's chasing, but behind, well, we can see Bondimus in 7th with Mr. Smith in 8th. Mr. Smith getting a run on Bondimus. Bailey is saying he's British. Could be. Oh, English. There we go. Could have been Scottish still. He could be a Scottish Scotsman calling himself a Brit, which is rare, I suspect. Bondimus there in 7th place. So Mr. Smith in 8th. Jam in 9th. The Punisher 10th. Christo is in 11th. With Slenderfella in 12th, and then we have the pit stops that have happened. Cherry in 13th and Rob on drums in 14th. Their lap times. Cherry is in the 17.2, so he is lapping quicker than the driver in 2nd, but not as quick as the driver in 1st. Bunnies is just flying. He's in the 16s consistently as well. He's dropped into the 17s just as I say that. We have a Canadian 1, 2, 3 as it stands, but Bunnies is just on another planet with his pace. Everyone else is in the 17th, in fact an 18th by Bunny's brother Ajax, trying to chase down Yafax. It's not happening. Bunnies sets a 17.0, Yafax a 17.8. Bunnies is just flying along. Let's go on board with the Canadian to see how he's doing this. Is it through the slower sections? Goes down into 2nd. Keeps it 2nd. You can gain a lot of time in slow corners in these cars. So he doesn't drop it down into 1st gear. We see other drivers drop into 1st. But Bunnies keeps it in 2nd through those corners. And 3rd through Young Cow. Well, that might be where the time is coming from. He's keeping it in a high gear. As we watch in comparison to Yafax, he goes down to 2nd gear. So that is very, very interesting. Ajax looks like he's catching Yafax on this lap. He was on the overtake. As we have Mr. Smith in 8th, the Punisher in 9th. So Jam has got past Mr. Smith. Let's see if the Punisher can join the Renault and pass him. He's on the overtake. Oh my word, what a move! I don't think Mr. Smith was expecting a move around the outside. Mr. Smith having a look into turn 1, but nothing can be done about it. The Punisher up into 8th place. The Canadian pushing along now. 17.7 for him on his last lap on the medium tyres as well, which is quicker than Jam on his softs. Bailey has got back ahead of Aloe, to the Red Bull driver, ahead of his teammate. This could be an incredible battle. Aloe in the past has been in battles with teammates throughout seasons. Remember, season number 6 in the Team Lotus, him and Specmare were nose to tail every single race, always near each other. Aloe looking for that first ever victory, as well as Bailey pops into the pits. So Bailey is in on lap number 12. So Gasman will overtake him for sure. Jam is in 7th place, trying to push along, with the Punisher catching him though. Mr. Smith in 9th. He's coming into the pits as well. So Christo will go up the field. He'll pass. Wait, he might not pass Bailey. Let's have a look at that. See where Bailey feeds out in this battle. So Bailey coming out of the pit lane now. He's going to safely get out ahead of Christo? Yes, he does. So Bailey in 8th is able to move up the field. What tyres has Bailey gone on? Bailey has gone on to the medium tyres now. So he is on that trajectory now. Slender Fella in 10th place. He's got the attention, though, of the very fast More Cherry. So More Cherry on board with him. Oh, a little trophy on the halo. Is that because he came in 3rd place at round 1? I wonder if he's collecting trophies this season. 12 trophies up for grabs this season, as it's a 12-round championship. He's going to have a go, it looks, on Slender Fella in the Jordan. Slender Fella had connection issues last time out. Looks a lot smoother this time. So he goes up the hill, and More Cherry's going to get past him before they get to the start-finish line. Yes, he does. A side-by-side as they cross the line, but More Cherry has the line into turn 1, and into the center S he goes. Up into 10th place. Our top driver that's made a pit stop. Oh no, he's not the top driver, because Christo has made a pit stop. Mr. Smith is on the hard tyres now. To lap number 12. Bunnies. So we're in the pit stop window, it seems, for those on softs, but Bunnies is still doing 17.5, so he's quite happy. In fact, he's got Mr. Smith just ahead of him. He's made the stop. Yafax, oh, his left front is not happy, and he brings the Alfa Romeo into the pits then. So he is in on lap number 14. Ajax up into 2nd. Lowy is in 3rd. His teammate pitting before him. Gazman. This will be where he starts moving up the field then. As Jam in 6th place. Does he get ahead of Yafax? Yafax on the medium tyres now. Will Gazman get ahead of him? I don't think he will. Says, oh, they're side by side. Coming out of the pits, and Yafax is behind the Ferrari. So one Italian mark gets ahead of the other Italian make. But he's straight away quicker. The medium tyres are better. They're a faster tyre, obviously, than the hards. But Gazman, he's in a rhythm. So Yafax will be trying to put the pressure on the Canadian, who wasn't, oh my word, nearly lost it on the curb. He was in 2nd place. Gazman sliding as he tries to fight the Ferrari's hard tyres. Runs a little bit wide out of Yankau. So that means Yafax can have a move, and he does it already. Holds that inside line. He's got the move done. But will Gazman make the move into turn 1? He does, cheekily. Gazman says, no, 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 no. Just because you have the better tyres does not mean I am going to let you have this easily. He gets past once more, so Yafax again on the overtake, having to make the move. It's got so much overspeed. Whoa, it's like a rocket ship going into turn 4. And the Alfa Romeo gets past the Ferrari once more, but does the Ferrari make the move into turn 6? He's having a look, and he's made it. Wow! Gazman up into 4th place again. These two are not letting each other go. Yafax then overtakes into turn 8. What are these two doing? They're throwing each other's cars at each other. Yafax knows he has to keep that Ferrari behind. He cannot afford to be behind the Ferrari on the hard tyres. It's a Ferrari 5.6 as well. The Punisher in 6th place now. Bailey is 7th after his stop. Christo in 8th. More Cherry in 9th. So all of those have made stops. Slenderfella in 10th. Jam has made a stop. He's got Rob on drums behind him. Jam is on the hard tyres. So Jam is in after his pit stop. He's got Rob on drums, who's on the softs behind him. We go back to the front of the field. What does Bunnies do? Does he decide to hold position or not? Yafax pulling away though from Gazman. So he's got clear of the Ferrari. Got about a second and a bit gap between him and the Scuderia man. Morcherry in 9th. Christo and Bailey though, side by side, going into turn 4. And Christo moves up into 7th place. Bailey is now going to have to try and do a Gazman. And it looks like, oh, he nearly had the momentum up the inside. But that puts him under pressure from the Essex Steel Team Lotus car of Morcherry. So Morcherry has the Red Bull just ahead of him. Let's go on board with the Lotus. They go for Yang Cao. Bailey just in that slipstream of Christo as well, so they might just all hold position. Morcherry's tyres on the right hand side, you can see, look a little bit more worn as they go towards turn 1, the Senna S, for lap 18. So the drivers all ahead have not stopped. So the drivers ahead haven't stopped yet. In the background, Bailey under pressure now from Morcherry. And Morcherry getting past, he's on the overtake. Can he feed into the gap? He just does it. And Bailey has to think, well, can I get past? So Bailey, as we say, starring role at Lego Majaro. Looks like this is where the action is in this race too. Christo, the German, 7th place for him. Not happening. He can't pull away from them at this point. But his teammate, in a field of 1, he has a 20-second gap to Ajax as they go on to lap 19. This is absolutely dominant from Bunnies. Driving that McLaren hard. He has the fastest lap of 16.1. 18.5 for Ajax, 18.0 for Aloy. So Aloy actually travelling a bit faster than Ajax. But the gap between those two is about 8 seconds. Yafax in 4th, just setting his best lap of 16.9. Now he's got rid of the Ferrari behind him, which is about 5 seconds behind. And actually, Gazman being chased down by his teammate, the Punisher. So the Punisher has got into a nice flow. Gazman, you can see, sliding the Ferrari hard. So we're going to see both Ferraris close to each other in a race, which is always lovely to see. We saw it last season with Leonardo. Greekman pushing hard as at the front. Ajax is going to be pitting this lap. Where is the Renault? Taking a long time. Yafax will overtake him. So Yafax goes up into 3rd. Renault leaves the pits and he's on the hards. So Ajax is on the hards after going 19 laps on the softs. Gazman, the attention of his teammate, is in the background. Morcherry and Christo. So did Christo go around the outside? He had a go into the Senna S. Absolutely fantastic. So, out of Yang Cao, Morcherry got past. Christo then gets into the slipstream, took straight back in. Doesn't use any overtake, it looks, and decides to go round the outside. It's a good position to be in because then you're on the inside of the next part of this corner, but Morcherry's car just says, no, 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 you do not overtake me there. Bailey is in 9th, but Morcherry still under pressure from the McLaren. The McLaren going up the inside of turn 4. Can he do the move? Yes, he can. Brilliant move by the... Oh, no! Christo losing the car on the curb as his teammate just comes into the pits. So Bunnies is in, the race leader, into the pits right now on the end of lap number 20. It's a great run on the soft tyres by Bunnies. He's in the pits now. They're looking very worn. Out he comes. He's on the hards. So Bunnies has soft and hards this race. Aloe not stopping yet on lap number 21. So Yafax in third. And Ajax doing one lap on the hard tyres. So Ajax on one lap. So he's completed 2 stops. While some of these drivers, the Punisher ahead of Gasman now. These two have not stopped. 4th and 5th have not stopped. Yet Ajax is doing his 2nd stop of the race. So the Ferraris haven't stopped. Bailey and Morcherry, they are fighting hard. Bailey's got past Morcherry again. But Morcherry says, no. I'm going to go up the inside of you in turn 4. No, Bailey holds the position. Nicely done by Bailey. Morcherry's tyres are looking a little bit worn now. He's been on them now for quite a while. He pitted at the end of lap number 3, so he stopped as soon as he could on the hards. And he's now on the softs. Slender fella on the mediums. Ajax then, after 2 stops, down in 10th place. Rob on drums in 11th with Jam in 12th, and look who's in the pits this time again. It's Bunnies. So he's just done 1 lap on the hard tyres. Aloe coming in for his first stop as Yafax goes up the inside of Mr. Smith. There is Bunnies. Hard tyres have gone, softs have been deployed. Here is the Red Bull making its first stop as well. Those tyres looked a bit worn out, but I think that was a fault with the game. Medium tyres for Aloe as well, so Aloe coming out on the mediums. He's got softs to run at some point. Where does he feed with Bailey? Bailey and him, well, they're going to be side by side going into turn 4. Of course they are. But Bailey had the momentum, he had the overspeed, and he moves himself up into 5th place and puts the overtake on, trying to get away from his teammate. They're both on the medium tyres now. Gasman and the Punisher have not stopped yet. The Punisher in 3rd place. He's got Bunnies just ahead. So Bunnies, crucially, just ahead of these 2 Ferraris. The Punisher running very long, 22 laps on these medium tyres. He has got hards and softs to run at some point in this race too. Gasman has another set of hards and a soft set of tyres left as well. So the gap. Yafax has a 4-second gap ahead of Bunnies. This is the point of the race as Aloe comes in. So Aloe also doing this medium 1-stop challenge. So in he comes. He's deciding to do something a little bit different to his teammate. Slenderfella up into 7th place now in the Jordan as everything starts to pan out. So mediums off for Aloe, and then he's out again on some softs. Will he be ahead of Bondimus? More than likely. Although Bondimus, say more than likely, no, he's not. So Aloe feeds out between the 2 Team Lotus cars. Jam out of the pits as well. He gets rid of his hard tyres onto softs. As Mr. Smith is in 14th place. He's made another stop as well. So he did the 1 stop, I think, as well. The 1 lap trick. Trying to just use the hard tyres for as little as possible. The danger of doing that, though, you get fed back into traffic as Gasman makes his first stop of the race. So he's done 23 laps on the hards. He's still got his teammate, though, ahead of him. The Punisher is in 3rd place on those medium tyres, quite happily setting lap times as well on them. Bailey is catching him slightly, but not by much. Christo in 5th place. In the McLaren, Slenderfella, he's been caught up now by Ajax, and Gazman is on the hards. I suspect this will be a 1-lap stint on the hard tyres. So Ajax putting the pressure on the yellow Slenderfella. Defending champion, down in 7th place once more, but he has made 2 pit stops. And will he go round the outside of the Jordan? He does. Slenderfella loses a little bit of momentum with a slide, and Ajax puts himself up into 6th place. Bailey still going round in the Red Bull. Blue flags are waving. That's because Mr. Smith has been lapped by the Punisher. So the Punisher still hasn't made a stop as of yet. It's at the front of the field, a 15.8 by Bunnies. 17.5 by Yafax, and Yafax's gap is about 1.5 seconds to the Canadian. Into the pits comes the Ferrari of Gazman. Rob on drums, also in the pits. Their tyres very different to each other though. The hards barely used, 1 lap for Gazman, whilst Rob on drums has done 20 on his softs. So he's putting another set of soft tyres on. Gazman too, a set of softs. So they're racing to the end. What does Jam do? Jam, he's pitted a couple of laps before both of these drivers, but he's not going to be close enough. Gazman comfortably in 11th, Rob on drums in 12th, and Jam in 13th. Mr. Smith in 14th place. Whilst Yafax 17.5 and another 15.9. The Punisher finally making his pit stop at the end of lap number 25. Will Bunnies make the move into turn 4? We're on board with the Canadian. No, he doesn't make the move. As into the pits then comes the Ferrari of the Punisher for his first stop of the race. So hard tyres for him. He'll be doing the trick of running them for 1 lap, I suspect. In the background, we saw Christo making a stop. He's on the soft tyres now. So these drivers are trying to get to the end of the race. Christo ahead of Gazman. So Christo having a nice run. He's done his stops as well. So he's ahead of Gazman. Rob on drums, Jam and Mr. Smith. Whilst Bunnies has taken the lead. Where did he do it? He did it in the midfield. So he's overtaken Yafax, and Yafax still has to make a stop. This is, well, we don't see this in Formula X. We don't see a driver absolutely dominating the field, but Bunnies is about a second quicker than anybody else in this race. He has just hooked up around Interlagos in a way no one else can. He's 2 seconds quicker than Yafax on that last lap. Everybody else is very, very tightly matched. And Bunny's in a class of 1 here at Interlagos. He won round number 1. He won it by about 8 seconds. Here it's going to be massive. Ajax in 4th place with the Punisher. Punisher keeping going, actually. Slenderfella up in 6th in the Jordan. So these 2 drivers have to stop again. With Aloe 7th, more Cherry is behind him, but Bondimus and Christo having a fight. So Christo getting a run on Bondimus. Bondimus not quite as fast as Christo. Christo has the fresh set of soft tyres as they fight each other side by side. Christo having to use the overtake to ensure he gets past the Lotus. The Lotus is still there on his inside though. And Bondimus in ninth, but no, Christo now in ninth place. Brilliant racing between these two drivers. Will Bondimus have a move into turn 4? Often when you get overtaken, you have best opportunity to overtake as soon as it's happened, but hasn't got the momentum going. Gasman then in 11th place. He's now setting his personal best times. This is 17.0 on the last lap, running a little bit wide through turn 4. Rob on drums, 18.1 for him, and a 17.3 for Jam, and a 19.8 for Mr. Smith. He's got Bailey catching him up to lap him. 17.6 for Bailey. Not far off his best times. Whilst at the front, on the soft tyres, a 17.5 for Bunnies. Just another planet. Just another planet. He just comes alive in these Super Formula cars. He enjoys driving them. The combination of downforce and power, really Bunny's friend. Ajax has no answer to his brother's pace. He, in fact, he's 33 seconds behind. Bunnies is going for the fastest lap as well. He's just going for that fastest lap. He's going for a tighter line. So he is actually trying to show, look, I've got the pace here. So he's actually going low down on the home straight. You'll see the other drivers, they go high up just to get a nicer run into turn 1. 15.1 for Bunnies. I think he's trying to get into the 14s. But that pace is just unreal. Slender fella in 5th place. He's got a Lowy catching him up. So a Lowy, it's a quick driver, 17.5 on the softs. It's 2.5 seconds nearly off the pace of the race leader. More Cherry has got Christo catching him up. So this is where we have a lot of drivers appearing at the circuit at the same points. 5th, down to tenth. So 6 cars are very close to each other. The Punisher hasn't made his second stop yet. Maybe he can't get the softs to last as long as other drivers have done. Lowy all over the back of the Jordan. Through the middle section of this circuit. It is a tight place to be on board with the Red Bull. He's on the overtake. We've seen this move plenty of times today. And it's cleanly done by Lowy. The soft tyres, they're fresh. He sets his best lap of the race too. So he gets it done before he gets into Center S. More Cherry bringing Christo with him. Christo might be having an opportunity. He does, he gets onto the overtake. And he's passed the Lotus before they get into turn 4, and they come to the Jordan that's got the very worn out medium tyres. So Slender fella is going to prove a little bit of a roadblock for these two. His tyres just aren't up to scratch as he just runs wide. I wonder if he let them by. Christo up into 6th place in the McLaren. Having a very strong outing. The power of Ayrton Senna being channeled by both him and More Cherry. We look in the background. Bondimus has got Gasman right behind him. He has the the channeling of Ayrton Senna here in Brazil, but unfortunately it looks like the Scuderia power is going to charge past as Slender Fella goes into the pits now. Gasman up into the center S, makes the move to follow his teammate. So the Punisher in 8th, Gasman in 9th. As Jam 12th overtakes his teammate, Slender Fella, who will be now on the soft tyres to finish the race. Mr. Smith in 14th place. Oh, Mr. Slender Fella on the hards. As Bunnies leads into the pits comes Yafax. I wonder if I missed Slender Fella's tyres on my little chart there. So Yafax in and out. He'll be on the soft tyres to finish this race. He is. He's got a big challenge though, because Bunnies is nearly completing the lap. The gap between these two is phenomenal. Bunnies has just dominated this race as Bailey nearly gets himself up into second place. The Red Bull driver saw second and thought, well, I might as well have the glory of being in second for a little bit. He has to pit again. He'll be pitting soon, I would assume, though those medium tyres don't look very worn out. He's got a set of softs left, so maybe 10-lap glory run at the end for Bailey. Ajax in 4th. Aloe, he's got the charging Christo. Keeping me honest, the McLaren trying to join his teammates in the top 5. McLaren do look a very strong unit this season. They're leading the team championship. It's going to be another strong haul of points as Bailey now comes into the pits. We saw Bailey battling with Aloe very early on in the race. Will he join out with this group? As his crew wait for him. Oh, he suddenly appears like magic. Maybe he used the force to arrive in the pit box. So Aloe in 4th place with all the pressure of Christo. Bailey coming out of the pits. He's not going to be out ahead of these. Will he be out ahead of Morcherry? No, he isn't. So he drops down to 7th place. Bailey will be thinking, what on earth happened there? I should be a lot higher than this. But no, he's not. Gasman in 8th place. The Punisher in 9th. Rob on drums in 10th. The Jam in 11th. Bondemus in 12th. Slender Fella after his stop is 13th. And 14th is Mr. Smith. Bunnies has slowed down a bit. 16.6. It's just shocking, that. 16.6 for Bunnies, and yet Yafax has just set his best lap of the race at 16.5. This really has been a demonstration from Bunnies. It really has. Ajax in 3rd place. 10 seconds behind Ajax as well. Christo is up into 4th place in the McLaren. Christo making the move brilliantly. Bailey confirming that he did think, how on earth am I down in 7th place? As Aloe now on the overtake gets past. So these two having a fantastic scrap for 4th. As Christo then moves back into 4th place on the exit. This is fantastic racing. Aloe back up the inside in turn 6. Yes, he does. And will Christo then make the move? It's tight, it's battly. Cherry in 6th place has grandstand seats for this fight. What can he do? Say, Christo on the soft tyres, he's got a lot of speed. He's in the slipstream of Aloy, but Cherry is also in the slipstream. They're all fighting it out, going down the home straight. Christo goes to the normal line. Cherry is on the inside. Can he go up at the inside? He goes for a move on Aloy. Maybe inadvertently trying to outbrake Christo, but Christo back up the inside and back into 5th. These are scrapping all over the place. They've got another 8 laps, including the one that they're on, to decide this 4th place. Christo still chasing Aloy down. He's got Cherry all in his mirrors. Aloy with the red light above his head. It means he's got less than 25% of his overtake left. As up the inside, not quite, with the green. So 25% or more. Bailey has joined the fight. So we've got 4 cars fighting for 4th place. And Bailey is 3/10 up on his best time. All of a sudden, Cherry, from attacking 5th, could be having to defend 6th place as they approach turn number 1. Up ahead, though, Aloy could be having to defend. He is. He's going tight against the wall against Christo. All through. All through the centre S cleanly. Bailey, will he have a move into turn 4? He thought about it. They all bunch up once more. This is phenomenal racing here at SNL. Like, share and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I know it's late in the race for saying that. That's Cherry. He's having to do all sorts of shapes in 6th place to keep Bailey behind him. The top 3 is pretty much guaranteed, with Bunnies at the front, Yafax in 2nd and Ajax 3rd, but the battle for 4th, who knows where it's going to end up. Oh, Aloy nearly had Christo behind him. Christo then, all of a sudden, he's got Cherry behind him. In the slipstream, close enough as well. Will we see a little dip of overtake from the Lotus? No, he's on the outside though as well, so it's not the best position on the outside of turn 1, because you do end up getting pinched on the exit. As turn 2 comes very quickly through turn 3, they've got Mr. Smith appearing in front of them. So they are fighting hard. Christo has been overtaken by Cherry. Cherry was on the overtake and gets the move done. As Aloy gets past Mr. Smith. Will Mr. Smith just let these drivers through? Cherry. Oh, he's got Mr. Smith in probably the worst position. Mr. Smith running a little bit wider. Does he let him have it? He does. Runs out wide as we go on board with Bailey. So these 4 having an epic scrap. Gasman in 8th, 17-8 for him. He's not catching them up. A little bit of damage actually for Bailey as they climb the hill once more. Cherry 5th. Bailey up into 6th. He's got past Christo. But Christo will be on the overtake, trying to make sure he makes the move. No, he doesn't. Bailey just having Cherry in front of him. These 4 drivers fighting incredibly hard. So Cherry 5th place with Bailey 6th. Christo now in 7th place on board with the McLaren. Can't quite get back the position. Gasman not catching them up. Rob on drums in 9th has been lapped by Bunnies. Jam in 10th has been lapped as well, obviously. Bondimus and the Punisher having a great fight. So the Punisher has made his stop. And Bondimus under pressure from the Canadian. The Punisher going up into 11th through turn 4. And a great move by the Canadian. Mr. Smith. Bunnies. Yafax. Ajax. Back to the fight for 4th. It's now becoming a fight for 5th. Aloe just pulling himself away as Bailey. Oh, can Bailey make the move? Morcherry runs wide. Morcherry's under pressure because Christo's got past him. Oh! A little bit of tapping between the two. Let's go on board with Christo. So Christo actually ahead. Ooh. Not sure really. I think that's just two drivers in the same place, maybe at the same time. It's Christo up in 6th place. Morcherry there down to 7th place. He's got damage on the rear though with that contact with Christo, I think. So these cars, they'll keep it clean for so long, and then a little bit of touchy-feely happening on lap number 39. Hard racing. It's the final stages of the race. I wonder if the stewards would have a look at that. I don't think so. I don't think there were any incidents reported to them. So, Bunnies in 1st place, leading by an absolute mile. How far ahead of him? Yafax is he? Oh, he's just 28 seconds. As Yafax hits a 15.5, the first time we've seen another driver get into those 15s. Oh, and Christo pits. Christo pits on lap number 39. He has to put the hard tyres on. So he drops out of that fight. So Rob on drums and Jam move up ahead. So Rob on drums actually been caught up by Jam in the past few laps. Christo in 10th. Punisher in 11th place. He's starred at points just in this race. Bunnies is lapping Mr. Smith on lap number 41. So far ahead is Bunnies, as I said before. Yafax trying to get fastest lap, it seems. It is not on the pace this lap. Half a second lost in the sector 1. Ajax in 3rd. His gap is 20 seconds to Yafax. He's got a nice comfortable gap to Aloe. It's 14 seconds to Aloe. Aloe has moved away from Morcherry. Morcherry up in 5th place now. That fighting early on, has that cost him an opportunity of 4th? Bailey doing the teammate job, delaying the Lotus. Gasman in 7th place. He has caught them up, although his soft tyres are looking very, very used. As Rob on drums and Jam. Looks like that's where they're going to finish, as Bunnies is on the final lap. He's so far ahead. What's the gap? 27 seconds. There were points where it was well over 30 seconds. He's just got to bring it home on this last lap. And it would be 2 wins in a row. Full 60 points after 2 races. It is a 12-race championship, though. So, despite this early domination, it would seem, from the Canadian, there is plenty of opportunity. Excuse me. Don't know where that came from. But plenty of opportunity from the drivers to catch him up, but the two-time champion is looking to make it 3 in season number 10. As he crosses the line to take his 11th victory in Formula X, a fantastic win from Bunny's, absolutely dominant, winning by nearly 30 seconds from Yafax. Yafax in the Alfa Romeo just had no answer. In fact, nobody in this field had an answer to Bunny's here at Interlagos. But it's going to be another podium for Yafax. He equals his best ever result in Formula X with a second place. He'll be happy with the points after round number 1. Ajax will finish in 3rd place. So Ajax climbing the hill now to take 3rd place, a position he's never finished in a Formula X race until now. Well done to him, and Morcherry's got past Aloe. Where did that happen? Oh, it possibly happened. Oh, it happened down the back straight. There we go. Gone back a little bit further than we normally do, but it is a move on the last lap. Aloe just losing out those medium tyres on Morcherry. They're fresher. They have more grip, it would seem, than the softs of Aloe. And this epic fight between these drivers is going to see Morcherry take the position. Rob on drums is 8th, Jam 9th, 10th is Christo. They were all close. Punisher 11th and Bondimus in 12th. So Morcherry coming through the final corner, Young Cow. He's got a little bit of overtake left, nothing left for Aloe. These drivers, fantastic racing throughout the race. He's going to finish in 4th place. Salvation job after the qualifying mistake. Aloe 5th, 6th is Bailey, and Gazman will finish 7th and is the last driver on the lead lap, because absolute domination saw Bunny's lap. 8th place, Rob on drums. 9th place, Jam. 10th, Christo. 11th for the Punisher. 12th, Bondimus. And 13th, Slenderfella. Mr. Smith only doing 40 laps. So, the race result. Domination for Bunnies in the McLaren. Fantastic result for him. 60 points out of 60 for the McLaren driver. Can anybody beat him in season number 10? Well, I'm sure we'll see some amazing fights throughout this season. 2nd place was Yafax, climbing up the field after round number 1. The same for Ajax in 3rd in the Renault. 4th place, after starting 14th, he finishes 4th. Morcherry will be happy with that result after a disaster of a qualifying session. 5th place will be Aloe. Great result for him after the disconnect in round number 1. Another 6th place for Bailey. He can't stop getting them. He gets 1, he gets 2 in a row. Will he make it 3? Next time out at Le Mans, the Circuit de la Sarthe. Next weekend. Gazman in 7th place in the Ferrari on his strategy. 8th place, Rob on drums in the Benetton. Pipping Jam at the end. Christo in 10th in the McLaren. The Punisher in 11th place. He saw him high up during the race. Bondimus in 12th. 13th place was Slenderfella. And finally in 14th place was Mr. Smith in the Renault. But Bunnies won the race in the McLaren. Domination here at Interlagos. Join us again next week for the Circuit de la Sarthe, Le Mans. For the first time this season, rain is a possibility as well. How will that impact this racing? It's been fantastic so far. 2 rounds, 2 epic races here in SNL. Like, share, subscribe if you haven't done so already. And join us again next week for round number 3, Circuit de la Sarthe.